I'd like to start this off by saying I'm sorry for ever creating this monstrosity, and I'm also going to say I might not be able to get through this reading it out loud, because sometimes when I write, I don't really take into consideration that people are actually reading it. So anyways, here's the fabled priest Amon. I'm already looking at the first line. I don't go back and read my stuff, guys. I'm looking at the first line. I just want to... Oh, God. Okay. You can do this. Oh, she nervous, though. Okay. Christ. Okay. Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. Already not off to a good start. Amon's breath catches in his throat as he drinks in the sight of his significant other. It's so wrong to be doing something like this. He's ashamed at the prospect, or at how much the prospect of fucking them like this turns him on, but for the time being, he throws every last doubt and inhibition from his mind. The collar around his neck feels tighter, like it's constricting his throat and making it harder for him to breathe. His voice shakes with the weight of his desire as he commands his significant other. Fuck. Prayer works best when you're on your knees. Do you agree? Yes, Father, they breathe, and the timbre of their voice goes straight to his cock as they sink to their knees. Amon's black slacks are tight, owing to the fact that he's more turned on than he's ever been in his life. It's probably because he has an erection. He moves to undo the belt buckle, but his SO speaks up. I want to do that. We're getting brave, apparently. He walks so he's standing in front of them, and their face is level with his crotch. They flick their gaze up to him, the gleam in their eye making him harder. They smirk, turn their attention back to his belt buckle, and undo it slowly. Amon feels his slacks and boxers being tugged down to his knees, and his significant other bites their lip at the sight of his cock. Who does that? Why did I write that? He swears he can come just by watching them study his body, looking at him like he's a fucking god. He probably won't be able to come that way. I don't know why I wrote that. What do you want me to do, Father? They ask, their voice painfully innocent given the position they're in. Oh, Jesus. Do you want me to touch you? And do you want me to wrap my mouth around your cock and suck you until you come down my throat? Father, please, I want to make you come. Oh, God. They trace a vein on his cock with their fingertip lightly as they speak, and he has to close his eyes and grit his teeth before he answers. You're being awfully dirty. Is that any way to talk to a priest? Probably not. He manages, attempting a sarcastic, teasing tone. Father, I just want to be washed of my sins. This isn't the way to do it. They purr, wrapping their hand around him and stroking his cock. As you do. Let me become one with you, Father. Before giving him a chance to retort, they wrap their lips around the head of his cock, darting their tongue out and lapping at the salty liquid beating from his tip. He sucks in a breath and fists his hands into their hair, making them gasp around him. They take this as a good sign and take as much of him into their mouth as they can, suctioning their lips and bobbing their head, as you do. He grunts, unable to stop a quick buck of his hips when they give him a particularly hard suck. They pull their mouth off of him and stroke him as they prepare to continue. There's a lot of cock in this. They steady his cock in their hands and give a long, languid lick up the underside of it. They can feel him shaking, trembling at the feeling of their tongue on him. Well, right? They lick up to the tip and swirl their tongue around the head again, and as they're about to take more of him in, he stops them. No, he pants. When I come, I want to be inside of you. Do you have a condom? It's difficult for him to behave this way. He's usually pretty vanilla, and he always makes sure his partner's taken care of. He gets flustered easily at the kinkier things they try, but at this moment, he's so wrapped up in what they're doing, he can't find it in himself to be embarrassed. I'm sure he probably could, let's be real. I kind of want to do the moaning, but then I'm just like, no, that's too much. Dial it back. Yes, Father. Please, I need you inside of me. They're polite. They asked nicely with a please. Oh, dear God. Take off your fucking clothes and bend over, he commands, a voice husky and deep, sending shivers down his significant other's spine. Amon watches as they remove every last stitch of their clothing, and he knows they're teasing him because they make sure to do so slowly and stroke the newly exposed skin with every garment divested. He slips his own getup off, the collar and the shirt too warm for his liking, and tosses them aside. He leaves the cross around his neck alone. Oh, course he does. Delighting as the cool metal rests against his chest. You probably shouldn't do that. His SO makes a show of bending over, sticking their ass in the air so you can admire them from behind. You know, in hindsight, that's probably a pretty hard thing to do. I'm just saying. Their skin is flush, and he can clearly see in the gap between their legs that he's not the only one getting something out of this. Oh, dear God. Oh, I don't want to read this. Fuck me, father, please, they drawl, putting more emphasis on the father part than the rest of the plea, of course, because I'm fucking disgusting. Amon positions himself behind them, steadying their hips with his large, warm hands. His skin burns into theirs, and they push back, impatiently motioning for him to just get on with it. Patience is a virtue, he murmurs. But isn't impatience a sin, they ask, taunting. It's not, by the way. Amon guides his cock to their entrance, takes a brief moment to collect himself, and slams inside of them, drawing out a long, choked moan. The cross swings against their skin, and it hits them with a sharp little sting every time he surges forward. They push their ass back against him, begging him to go faster, to fuck them harder. I don't want to read this. This is so awkward. I don't understand how I wrote this. And you guys, when I'm writing this stuff, it's not like I'm like, you know, like, oh yeah, I'm just kind of like sitting with my laptop, like, that sounds good. Anyways, back to what I'm reading. Fuck, father, your cock is so good, so big, so warm, they cry, hardly able to get the sentence out. I understand. Please, harder, punish me. Amon can't stand it. They're too tight around him. Their warmth envelops him and fuels the raging inferno in his chest. The room spins, and he cannot focus on anything but them beneath him, writhing and squirming and sucking his cock in so deeply. Oh, do you repent? He grinds out, burying himself to the hilt and stroking a spot deep inside of them that makes them whine. Have you learned the error of your ways? Probably not. Yes, father, please. Make me come. I can't stand it. Their voice breaks as they answer him. I only give mercy. Oh, shit. He's moaning there, by the way, if you didn't know. To those who deserve it. Because you're not deserving of mercy, usually. They answer him not with a witty banter, but with a garbled moan, something like a mix of his name and a few choice swear words that any other priest would blush to hear. I'm pretty sure Amon's not too nonchalant about this, let's be real. He had a hard time dealing with Akira when she was drunk. I don't know why. Anyways, that moment he feels them squeezing around his cock, spasming as they come around him. I didn't read that right. He's been fit to burst since the moment they started this little charade, so he's not too far behind them. His head falls back, sweat beating at the base of his neck and his hairline, causing his black hair to plaster against his forehead. His eyes are shut tightly, and his mouth is agape as he grunts their name and comes inside of them with a last long, rough thrust. Did you wear a condom, though? Oh, no. He shakes, unable to hold himself up, and doubles forward, firmly planting his hands on either side of them so he doesn't crush them. At least he's considerate, right? They can feel his hot breath against their neck, erratic and lacking rhythm as he tries to regain his composure. They slip from underneath him, grab his hand, and fall back on the bed, taking him with them. He presses his forehead against theirs, flitting his eyes to theirs. He looks nervous. Amon, what is it? I didn't hurt you, did I? Because that's really what he's concerned about. They laugh, the sound hoarse from exertion. Not at all. I have to say I like this side of you. They rest their head on his chest and reach up to stroke his sweat-slicked hair back from his face. Thank you for telling me your fantasies. He wraps his strong, muscular arms around them and smiles. Thanks for making it come true. Because I always have to end it nice. And anyways, if anyone didn't really know, this is supposed to be like a role-playing scenario, so he's not like an actual priest, because that would be wrong. Anyways, yeah. I don't know what I was thinking when I wrote that. That was probably a little bit after I started the blog. And that was the first one. I've written 2 since then, because I don't know when to stop. But you guys seem to like it, so I mean, as long as you like it, I guess I'll keep writing it. I'm not proud of myself. My mom's actually read that one, and she was not very pleased with the whole thing, but, you know, whatever. It's just a priest fanfiction, right? I mean, he's fucking someone, but whatever. Anyways, yeah, I'm surprised I managed to actually get that out. but it's pretty tame compared to what I've grown to write since then. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Thank you for the 3,500 followers. I'm going to try to start getting more out. I know I was on a little hiatus for a while, and that's not going to be the case anymore because I have more time to write. But yeah, so I hope you guys liked that, and I'm sorry for creating that. Anyways, bye guys.